Homeowners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Our wind direction is starting to change this morning. It had been coming in from the southwest, but now it's coming in from the northwest over towards the other side of the state. That's what's bringing us that colder air. Already 36 in Ionia, 38 in St. John's, 37 in Hastings, and 39 in Marshall. Waiting to see more of the 30s appear on this map as we go through the day. That's also opening the door for snow to enter mid-Michigan. We'll be tracking this system and several more headed our way coming up as 6 News This Morning continues.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
The future of the U.S. Department of Education is now looking bleak because we expect President Donald Trump to sign an executive order today to dismantle the federal agency. Good morning, Mid-Michigan. It's Thursday, March 20th. I'm Jorma Duran. Megan has the day off. 6 News is here for you now with this morning's top stories. Since his campaign started, President Trump vowed to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, saying it's wasteful and polluted with liberal ideology. Well, today, he'll be following through.
We'll ultimately eliminate the Federal Department of Education. We'll send it back to the states.
President Trump plans to sign an executive order this afternoon to make good on that campaign promise, which will be marked by an event at the White House where several Republican governors are expected to attend. The Education Department sends billions of dollars a year to schools across the nation, although completely eliminating it would require congressional approval. 6 News will keep you updated. A burn ban is announced by the Fowlerville Fire Department after a brush fire broke out in Livingston County yesterday afternoon. The blaze broke out on Allen Road in Conway Township. Several other departments were called in to stop it from spreading. This comes as dry conditions during the spring thaw has caused several other brush fires in recent weeks. We continue to follow a crash out of East Lansing that forced rush hour traffic on Grand River Avenue to stop last night. It happened near the intersection with Hagedorn Road. At least 2 vehicles were involved, a black SUV and a white SUV. Our reporter on the scene saw multiple police vehicles, a fire truck, and an ambulance. But there is no official word yet from police about what happened or whether anyone was hurt. Stay with 6 News. We'll update you when we know more. A man is dead and another is in jail this morning after a stabbing inside a nail salon in Gratiot County. Sheriff's deputies were called there yesterday afternoon around 1 o'clock and found a 48-year-old man who had been stabbed multiple times. Officials say he died on the scene. It all happened inside the LA Nail location on North Alger Road in Pine River Township. Police arrested a 30-year-old man from Alma, who they call a person of interest. He's being held without bond. No other details are being released, but officials are asking anyone with information that might help with their investigation to call the Gratiot County Sheriff's Office. There's now a new probable cause court date for the 4 people accused for crimes relating to the deadly hyperbaric chamber explosion that killed a 5-year-old boy in Troy earlier this year. The 4 people, including CEO Tamala Peterson, were back in court yesterday afternoon. Their attorneys told the judge that there's still a lot of evidence that needs to be reviewed, and so the new court date is now next week. Peterson remains behind bars on a $2 million cash bond and is charged with second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Another person, manager Jeffrey Mosteller, also remains in jail, while the 2 other defendants, Alida Morfitt and Gary Markin, have since posted bond and are wearing a tether. Across the country, there has been attacks on Tesla cars and dealerships as the company's CEO, Elon Musk, has generated significant controversy for his role in the effort to shrink the federal government. Now, the Justice Department is investigating the violent vandalism as domestic terrorism. Hannah Brandt breaks down the federal response.
Teslas set on fire in Las Vegas, Kansas City, and Seattle. A dealership shot in Portland. Cars graffitied in San Diego County. Just a few of the recent violent attacks on the electric car company owned by controversial billionaire Elon Musk.
We certainly think it's despicable, the violence that has taken place against Tesla.
The White House and President Trump have repeatedly defended Musk, who's sparked controversy with his sweeping cuts to the federal government.
As long as Elon Musk is doing political things that anger consumers, consumers will take out their anger on his products.
Political ethics expert Peter Loge says this is not a new phenomenon.
Violent protest has been part of politics since the start of politics. It's the wrong thing to do. It's dangerous, and it's counterproductive. You don't make a lot of friends by blowing stuff up.
Local law enforcement is launching investigations and making arrests, and so is the U.S. Justice Department. Attorney General Pam Bondi wrote in a statement, "The swarm of violent attacks on Tesla property is nothing short of domestic terrorism. The Department of Justice has already charged several perpetrators with that in mind." But there have also been nonviolent protests, with people around the world taking part in marches and boycotts aimed at Tesla.
Most of the protests have been peaceful, and peaceful protest is the background soundtrack of democracy.
And Loesch says the peaceful demonstrations can be productive.
Protests can draw attention, create space for a conversation. Let's have that conversation. Protests should not be violent. Violent protesters should obviously face legal consequences.
Bondi says those consequences for people involved in violent attacks will be severe. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
There's water on the Capitol camera, and that is going to be blown around on the camera actually because of the wind. We've seen drops just kind of go across the screen. The wind is bringing in the cooler air that'll switch us from rain to snow soon. We're at 41 in Lansing, but it's in the 20s over towards Des Moines, Minneapolis, and it's actually at 20 in Grand Forks. Now, this is a part of that system that brought us the rain and storms last night. It's going to have that moisture surge up from the Gulf, wrap through Canada, and then back down towards us. It's giving plenty of snow over towards northern Illinois this morning, even had a decent amount up towards the tip of the mitten and into the UP. For us, we're just in line. So next up, we'll be seeing that chance for snow. Looks like a hint of it just west of Charlotte is going to continue to move upwards. And that's why we have red pause, at least for the morning and early afternoon. Jax doesn't look too excited about it, but as we go later into the evening, we'll start to see those clouds break apart slightly, get some sunshine, and have temperatures that are still in the 30s. Can't do much about that when the wind is what's driving that cool air in. We could have gusts around 30 to 40 miles per hour today. So the red pause also applies to the smaller dogs. They might be struggling a little more.
There's going to be a couple hours where it's going to be pretty active.
Yeah, it's a good, like, sit inside if you have like hot chocolate that's going to expire. Maybe put that in and just have fun.
By the way, today's the first day of spring.
It is. I mean, see, meteorologically, we start spring on the 1st of the month, so I always forget normal people spring.
Yeah, normal people like us.
Yeah.
Snow, first day of spring, must be.
It's Michigan.
All right, well, coming up, millions of dollars in drugs were seized at a port entry in Michigan. We'll tell you more about it in our What's on the Web segment.